needing to avoid a Teferi, Time Wipe. There are so many situations that absolutely ruin us right here. Hey, even a Dream Trawler gets us. Hey everybody, welcome back. Thanks for taking the time to watch Hello Good Game. Today we're talking about the #1 ranked Mythic deck from February 2020, brought to you by JS2. This guy is an absolute beast. Congratulations JS on the first place finish. I've been playing with Mono Red a lot recently because it is one of my favorite archetypes, and now you've got it right dialed in for us. And the craziest thing about this deck, you guys, it doesn't involve Torbran. That's insane. So let's break it down. We're going to take a look at the deck, talk a little bit about the synergies, the playstyles, the optimal draw hands, and then we're going to get into some gameplay footage. We have quite a few 1-drops here. Fervent Champion being our first. He's a 1/1 first strike haste. Whenever he attacks another attacking knight you control, gets +1/+0 until end of turn. Equip abilities that you activate that target Fervent Champion cost 3 less to activate. So the only time that comes in play is when Embercleave has been on the field and removed and is now off to the side. You can equip it to your Fervent Champion for free, which is really, really cool. Other than that, he's only powering himself up if you have multiple copies of Fervent Champion with the +1/+0 ability, which can get quite out of hand if you have 2 of these in your draw hand. That is an absolute keeper. Scorch Spitter, another 1/1, 1-drop. When it attacks, it deals 1 damage to the player or planeswalker it's attacking. Typically, this was really good with Torbran because it would deal 3 damage, but we're going in a little bit different today. Tin Street Dodger ×4 haste. You can pay 1. It can only be blocked by creature with Defender, which basically don't exist in Standard. So this is really nice secured damage consistently unless it's removed. Infuriate. This costs 1, which is really cool because it can power up your Steamkin instantly to save it from things. It can go on an Embercleave target very cheaply to get huge value, and you can use it to defend when you're on the defense, so you can power up your creature so it doesn't die. You can also combo this with our Fervent Champion who has first strike, because now the first strike will deal damage first, which is really cool. That makes him a great blocker and a great attacker. So Infuriate, really good as far as combat tricks go on your Embercleave or on your Fervent Champion. We also have 4 copies of Shock, deals 2 damage to any target. We can remove opposing Steamkins, Risen Reefs, anything high value that's low health, or we can save this up just for a little extra reach to kill our opponent. We have 3 Robber of the Rich. This is our first 2-drop creature. It's a 2/2 reach haste. Whenever it attacks, if defending player has more cards in their hand than you, exile the top card of their library, and during any turn you attacked with a rogue, you may cast that card and you may spend mana as though it were any mana of color to cast that spell. So this is really cool. There's nothing like taking your opponent's Teferi and then playing it on him. That feels so good, and it shuts down the control deck as well, which is amazing. We also have 4 Steamkins. This is a 1/1. Whenever you cast a red spell, if Steamkin has fewer than 3 1/1 counters on it, put an additional 1/1 counter on it, and then remove 3 counters to add 3 mana. We all know how this works. It's been around a while. And this red card has been boss since day 1, and it's not going anywhere today. We also have 3 Anax Hardened in the Forge, one of my favorite cards like I talked about. Its power is equal to your devotion to red. It's a 0/3, our first 3-drop creature, and whenever Anax or another non-token you control dies, create a 1/1, which is amazing. This creature can't block, and if you had power 4 or greater on that creature, you're going to create 2 of those tokens instead, so it's really nice to go wide. One really cool interaction here is we can play Anax, attack with Anax. Now he's tapped. We play another Anax on top of him. They both exist on the field momentarily, which powers them up over 4. You sacrifice the one that's tapped, you get 2 tokens, and then you get your Anax back. So that's a really cool combo you can do. We also have Phoenix of Ash for 3, 2/2, flying haste. You can pay 3, it gets +2/+0 until end of turn. You can escape it for 4 +3 cards from your graveyard into exile, and then it escapes with an additional 1/1 counter on it, which makes it a 3/3 flying haste creature, which is pretty cool. So unless they're exiling this, if they just remove it, you're going to be able to get a little bit of longevity and extra reach into your opponent's health points by bringing it back later on. Light up the stage. The spectacle cost is 1. Exile the top 2 cards of your library. Until the end of your next turn, you may play those cards. I really recommend playing this with the spectacle cost, obviously, especially if you have a Steamkin on the field, because it's basically playing for free When you have a Steamkin on the field, any of your 1-drops are basically free because it powers it up and you can just continue and continue and continue. And Light Up the Stage is really important in that equation because it allows you to draw, which allows you to keep going, keep powering up that Steamkin and continuing that cycle. We also have 4 Embercleaves. This is a 6-drop, which is very expensive, but we probably won't ever cast it for 6. It has Flash. This spell costs 1 less to cast for each attacking creature you control. When Embercleave enters the battlefield, attach it to target creature you control. Equipped creature gets +1/+1, has double strike and trample. Oh my god, this is a game finisher, you guys. This card is so good. We also have 3 Castle Embereths. You can pay 3, tap it, creatures you control get +1/+0 until end of turn. This has also won a lot of games because you go so wide and then you just buff them all up and go in. It's basically like an unbreakable formation that just sits there minus the indestructible. But being able to power everyone up is really good. We also have 17 mountains. It is what it is. So that's the deck. Let's talk a little bit about strategy. Our draw hand, we really want to focus on having at least 2 land. We probably should have 3 because sometimes you get stuck in that position where you don't draw the 3rd. And if you can drop Anax on par, on curve, on turn 3, you are absolutely laughing, you guys. If we go Fervent Champion, Robber, Anax, that is our ideal line of play. You'll see it right at the top. That's why it's there. Fervent Champion, Robber of the Rich, Anax, Embercleave. Because you'll have 3 land, 3 creatures, which equals Embercleave on turn 4 on your Anax, which equals him being a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 double strike. You're hitting for 14 damage on turn 4. That's absolutely incredible. What an amazing line of play. You can easily finish him off, like I said, with the flying creatures, with the Tin Street Dodgers, the Infuriate, the Shocks. There's so many ways to kill your opponent in this deck, you guys. You're really going to enjoy playing it. So that's my ideal hand, my ideal line of play. And then everything else I just use as extra sauce. Sometimes I like to withhold my Steamkins to make sure they don't have removal, so we can make sure to get that late game value out of that. Obviously, we can change our Robber of the Rich and Steamkin on our turn 2 because that does support a very nice strong attack as well, because we have played our Anax on top of it and our Embercleave, so it will be a 4/4 instead of a 2/2 when it attacks. So we could push out 16 damage on turn 4, which is just absolutely insane. I hope the white decks are ready for it. So you guys, that's our deck tech. That's our deck breakdown, how I like to play this deck. I've seen pretty good luck with it. We did take a little bit of a beating on stream this morning, but with that being said, I know this deck is an absolute beast. Obviously, JS2 is able to push it to Mythic place #1, like I said, so you should have no trouble crushing rank with this, you guys. If you're looking to do it, if you have the rares, I definitely recommend it. Be sure to join our Discord if you have any questions, and then we're live every single morning on Twitch, 6 a.m. PST, if you want to join the live conversation there as well. So thanks for watching, you guys. I really appreciate it. If you found this helpful, give the video a thumbs up, and then we'll see you all tomorrow. Four lands, probably a little heavy to start. We can trim back, keep 6, probably throwing our Embercleave and counting on drawing another. We could have tossed a land and kept only 2, but again, 3 is really nice for that Anax drop. If we can get him on pace, that is going to be absolutely groovy. We're in for 1. Our opponent is playing banned. Drops his Paradise Druid. He's not going to block with our Robber, so I think that could be our best option at this point. But again, if he has removal, he's now spending 1 full turn, 3 mana, to exile our runaway Steamkin. He could also potentially to fairy bounce it, which would be the best play. Yes, okay, so we should have went Robber. That's on us, right? We missed out on 2 damage. So we're still okay. I mean, this is what it is. We should try to trade with his Paradise Druid beforehand. Just swinging on his Teferi here. That's that. throwing our land, and now tempted to go in with Steamkin, but we should probably go with our robber. Let's see if I regret this decision again, trying to push the Steamkin out, you guys. It may not be worthwhile. We do have the Shock, which can power it up at the end of our turn. If he taps his Paradise Druid, we have a kill there as well. Questing Beast is pretty disgusting, let's be honest. So we're gonna get hit pretty hard with that. We're gonna play our Shock right now, just to get that Steamkin going up. Anax can kill his Questing Beast, plus provide positive value for it afterwards. No attacks though, which is unfortunate. Questing Beast blocking us out. Needing to avoid Teferi, Time Wipe. There are so many situations that absolutely ruin us right here. Hey, even a Dream Trawler gets us. So, Questing Beast can no longer block. We get the land. I said he can no longer block, but he can no longer attack. Let's play down again. We don't really have anything to threaten him with. So we're just going wide. Anax can definitely strike. Creating those 2 tokens. We should have tapped all of this afterwards, and then we would have been able to play our second Anax this turn, which would have been really cool. But it is what it is. Alright, our opponent has mad life gain here. Does he extend to hit us with his Dream Trawler? That's going to be the question.
Harness the elements.
No blocks. We're going to let it just stay tapped. Hopefully we're pulling that Embercleave. Negative. Anax is great though. Embercleave next turn will still be okay. Right? I do not even know. We have to kill this guy effective immediately. Let's see what we get from the top. Just a land. We want to make sure we kill his Nissa here. No matter how he blocks. I thought he would have taken a Steamkin, but he really just wants to shut down our draw, which is appropriate. If we can pull a Torbran, we're going to be A-okay. Again, Dream Trawler doing an excellent job of blocking us out. One of my favorite cards of the set. Dream Trawler. Absolute beast, you guys. Incredible. Does he attack or does he just want to build his field though? He's going all in. I think that is a good game. We've overextended ourselves. Forgot about the land. It is what it is. Only we had reached to kill his Trawler. We could still drop a Torbran and win this whole game, I believe. That is a lot of damage on the field. Torbran, Torbran, Torbran. He doesn't have enough to counter. This could be game if we pull a Torbran, you guys. That's not it. That's not gonna do it. Unfortunately. It would have been cool. So we did have the option for the win. So you see how powerful this deck can possibly be by pushing all of these Satyr tokens out, dropping that Torbran, and now they're all 3/1s, and you can just easily overwhelm your opponent, which is pretty gosh dang tootin' disgusting. We'll go to our combat here. Obviously all of these Satyrs can go in on Anissa. So one will block. We'll make sure we get the kill there. Right. By gosh, golly, doesn't that suck though? We need to defend 2 lands. We're not going to be able to kill Nissa, and we're not going to be able to survive the attack. Only 1 land if we can kill Nissa. So this is pretty weird. Our opponent definitely has the drop on us. He chooses just to block one of the Satyrs, keep his land alive, which is the smartest move. Probably has another Nissa in his hand, and that's gonna get us, you guys. We could potentially drop 6 mana so we can pump our Phoenix by 2, which would put him up by 4. So we could kill the Phoenix with 6, but he's gonna put him back to our hand, and that's gonna be a good game. Let's see how we make out in game number 2. Alright, game number 1, we got boxed out in a pretty big way. We didn't even come close. We could have top decked the perfect card, but it didn't really play out that way. We go first. This is a weird hand. Hopefully there's some things for us to remove. It's not a control deck. We see Elspeth as a sleeve, so it could be. And we know it's Jeskai Fires now because he's revealed his Phoenix, which means we need to make quick work of this deck. Hopefully pulling one of his Fires off the top of his library with our Robber. That would be pretty cool. Exiling all 4 copies of those somehow, some way, right? Okay. What have we got going on here? He's straight chilling, thinking about his scry. Does he want to go slow? Yes, he does. He's got the sweeper in hand, I'm sure. Robber hits the field. With Jeskai Fires, when you show and scry your Sphinx of Foresight, you don't really need to hold up your Fatal Passage to the end of your opponent's step. It is good manners, I guess, to cement that as a habit. But I already know what deck he is, so he can go ahead and grab whatever land whenever he's ready. Alright, there's red for his Deafening Clarion on turn 3. Ouch. There's his white. So, let's attack first, Obby. That's going to pull a Robber. It's a Teferi, which we really, really appreciate. That's going to go out, and it's going to get plussed. And now, you can no longer cast instances on our turn. And we have a bounce available, which is groovy. If he fires, we still have the Scorch Spitter as backup. We're not out yet, though, you guys. Jeskai Fires is a very aggressive and destructive deck. Even more so than Mono Red sometimes. You do not want this thing to get going past turn 4, turn 5. have any other options.
Trust me, I have a plan.
Just chilling. Bad hand. It's not good. Where is our Anax? That's supposed to be our turn 3 play, you guys. We need to avoid sweepers. We need to avoid fires. We need to avoid the Cavaliers. We need to avoid Kenrith. This whole deck is cancer for us, you guys. We're going to have just terrible luck. Aruga. You can't win them all. And that is one thing a little bit about mono red, is you need to get that win rate established and then just burn through games, because it is probably not a high win rate. Maybe instead of 60%, you're looking at 55%. But over games, this stacks up quite significantly. So you need to be able to cycle through these matches quite quickly as a red deck. Our opponent's still not playing anything.
Here goes nothing.
Scorch Spare keeps us from our Embercleave. And we're just gonna hold off. Teferi's getting big and bad, which doesn't make his situation any easier ever. We're sitting on plenty of 1-drops if we had a potential Steamkin. Bone Crusher Giant is what it is. Bounces Giant, even though he can re-stomp something. We get nothing from it. That's crazy. Sitting on 3 shocks, that's 6 damage. We could have held up the kill if we cast that Infuriate. That could be a potential R bad. I think we're gonna be okay though still. We're gonna let him have it. Emptying our shocks at the end of his end step. Right, and then we just need to make our Tin Street unblockable. Use our Infuriate on it, and that is gonna be a good game. We were able to squeak through this match, you guys. Woof, woof, woof. Just popping him up. Why do any more than we need to? Nice. So let's do 3 and we'll see how we make out in the 3rd. So we got pretty lucky in that last match. Our opponent wasn't able to find his fires and therefore cast 2 spells every turn for absolute insane damage. I'm gonna keep this just because I don't want to lose any cards. Infuriate is not something I really like to see in the opening hand. Obviously, I'd rather this be a 1-drop or a 2-drop. Creature, that is, of course. Just stacking that devotion towards our Anax, which I also would have rather seen than our Embercleave, because we want to use Anax before Embercleave. He should have blocked here because I do 2 damage, he's only doing 1, so that is a negative gain for him. 2 Scorch Spitters on the field. Let's see what he does with his 2nd turn. So we're gonna stop for his attack phase. If it's a Steamkin, I roast that. Alrighty then. Let's just blast one of these fools. Let Luckily, he didn't have an Infuriate on his end. He still goes for the attack when he should be blocking. His first strike, he can kill these Scorch Spitters just by defending. We're going to kill his Fervent Champion with our Scorch Spitter via Infuriate. That sucks. Anax in the house. Gosh, I love Anax, you guys. No blocks, we're actually going to take it. It's not a lot of damage. He's tapped, that's more important. Steamkin could be worse. Let's try to get Anax off the field. Getting that push damage in with the Spitters. Can't stop that. And now we're going to trade. He does get the token, which is really good. We die. We don't get a token. Really bad. He's down to 13 or 17 with a Steamkin in play. Ooh, Chandra Spitfire. So we're talking Cavalcade of Calamity. That is not good. Okay, the body can't block, so we may as well push in with our unblockable and our Steamkin. Grabbing that extra 4 damage unless he wants to lose one of his creatures. He lets us take it. That's okay. Down to 9. Woof. We have the option to Embercleave our Steamkin next turn, you guys. That's going to make it a 5/5. Hopefully, there's no Cavalcade of Calamity here. If he drops it, we're dead. I think we're okay. We have to... No blocks. We cannot block, unfortunately. Oh my god. And he Embercleaves something. What's it gonna be? Chandra Spitfire. That's okay. So we're getting hit for 4, 5, 6, 7. We're okay, and that's gonna be a good game. He's fully tapped. My turn. Absolutely perfect. We pull another Embercleave. There we go in the sky. 1 damage. And we're throwing down on our Steamkin. Incredible. So, 2 out of 3 is not bad. That's a good win rate. That's 66%. And if you can continuously grind that out, you guys, you're going to climb rank. You're going to have no problem. If you enjoyed this video or found any value, make sure to hit that thumbs up icon and subscribe to the channel for more free-to-play beginner videos. Thanks for watching. I will see you guys tomorrow, 6 a.m. PST on my Twitch channel, which we are live on every single morning. Take care.